millions of Americans are under severe weather warnings as a major winter storm moves across the U.S. Freezing Arctic air is bringing blizzards and icy winds to much of the country as it pushes southeast. Forecasters are warning that temperatures could plunge as low as minus 45 degrees Celsius in some areas. The record-breaking cold comes as millions hit the roads and the skies for the holidays. Airlines have already canceled thousands of flights. Matthew Capucci is a meteorologist based in Washington, D.C., and he told us why the storm is so unique and dangerous.
It really is once in a generation because of all the moving parts, each of which is having its own impact. For starters, we have an upper level low, pocket of cold air, low pressure and spin that's helping intensify a surface disturbance, causing what we call bombogenesis, basically the rapid strengthening of a surface storm. That's taking place over the Great Lakes. Now, because of that, it's sucking in air from all sides. So on the eastern side, up and down the eastern U.S. coastline, we're seeing winds ride northwards, warm, moist air, flooding rains, and damaging winds. On the backside, Siberian air is cascading down southwards across the central U.S., the plains, causing wind chills down to minus 45 to minus 50 Celsius, actual air temperatures down to minus 40 Celsius, and dangerous conditions for anyone outside with sub-freezing weather all the way down to the Gulf of Mexico. Then in between, those two air masses clash, you get heavy snow, blizzard conditions, all coming at a time of year when about 113 million people are expected to travel more than 80 kilometers or more for the holidays. Very bad timing.
You said it there. We're looking at minus 45, minus 50 degrees. How dangerous is that for the human body?
It's the kind of thing the human body can't survive unless they're actually protected and really indoors. For folks across the upper Midwest, the north central U.S. and the northern tier, we're advising that if anyone has to drive more than just like a minute or two, have an emergency kit in your car, because if you break down, it only takes, a couple minutes before frostbite to set in and actually damage or even kill your skin and start, losing limbs and stuff like that. Very quickly thereafter, one could succumb to the cold, for which reason we say, don't bet on authorities reaching you in time. Don't travel if you don't have to. If you're in that part of the U.S., really, hunker down, stay home, and stay warm.
Let's talk about the authorities, because earlier, similar, not as intense storms have knocked out power to millions and killed hundreds. Are the authorities in the areas affected now better prepared than they were those previous times?
I think that's a really good point you bring up. About 2 years ago, February 2020, we had a big event in Texas where essentially a piece of the polar vortex broke off and brought very cold temperatures down to the Lone Star State. And in the process, pretty much wiped out the state's power grid, knocking out power to 4 million customers. And I think we learned a lot of lessons since then. During that event, there was wintry precipitation, so ice, freezing rain, snow that prevented fuel from reaching the power plants and resulting power from being generated. That won't be a case this time. ERCOT, who is the company in charge of Texas's power grid, says they got this time. We'll see if that actually is correct, but I think the bigger issue really will be the wind's impact on travel rather than power outages.